Well, good evening, my fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is I, and I am Guy. I'm coming to you live from Applewood Station, where it's 12 degrees Celsius, and the temperature is sort of dropping out there. It's kind of nice. It's gotten pretty decent outside. Kind of looking out there and looking to see what's going on outside. Kind of looks, outsidey. It's about right. All right, let's see what we got as far as music goes here. Oh, hey, yeah. Never miss a comment. Says there. Make sure you can click on it so you can stick it on the screen. Oh, you know what I should do? I'll put that on screen. There. Behold. You see how I've done exactly what it asks. There you go. I mean, not like it's not all up here on the screen all the time. I don't know what that means necessarily as to why it's so big on expressing that you can express. I don't know. Music. We need music. We're trying to work on the music. That's what we're after here. Lo-fi. All right, I'm done. I'm not done. I'll never be done. You know how this goes. You know how this goes. Everybody knows how this goes. All right, so how are you all doing out there? You all drinking enough water? You should drink more water. Taking care of yourselves? You should be taking care of yourselves. Just saying. You need to take care of yourselves. Drink a lot of water. Take care of yourselves. Be good people. Be good stewards. Good stewards of you. Only one of you. McCoy even says that. Follow Dr. McCoy's advice. So, yepers. So, let's see what else we got. I don't think I have a lot to do today. I've got a test that I've got to do before midnight tonight. So probably I'm not going to stay on for very long, just simply because I got to prep for that test and do the test. It shouldn't be that hard. Should only take me a little bit of time, and I've got 3 tries at it. It's kind of nice of her, actually. She doesn't tell you which ones you got wrong, but she does let you have 3 tries at it. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I do have to do that test, and I've got until 11:59 to do it. So I don't want to be spending all night on this. So I'm probably going to go on ahead and bow out relatively soon here if nobody shows up, which is fine. That's totally fine. I'll be here again tomorrow night, and we'll be able to talk again. I do have an interesting thing that has shown up, and that is my awards have come in. These are from the newest Star Trek. A buddy of mine, a good dear friend of mine, has printed them for me. But this is the device that you wear, which has all your medals on it. The problem is that the medals that I printed for them are larger. So don't fit exactly well, and they won't fit inside here. I'm going to scale this down just a little bit and find out exactly how much I've got to scale it down, and then decide how I'm going to deal with the awards. So that is kind of a thing that I'm going to have to deal with. he gave me 2 prints so I could work on this one of 2 different ways, however I wanted to do this. I thought that was kind of nice of him. And he gave me far more than enough little widgets inside here to fill the thing if I needed to. So it actually has these little award triangles that fit inside little spaces in there. They fit really nicely inside the spaces here. So that should be perfect for this. There you go. That's more like it. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to have to fuss with it, though. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to print another set run of these, but instead just figure out exactly how much smaller. It doesn't look like it's that much smaller. I'm going to have to rescale and resize for, but that's all right. I think what I could do is just put this on top of here like this, and then just rescale it for that. I feel like, though, I should probably put a ruler next to it, just in case, just in the off chance that, you know, we've got a size differential issue or something of that sort. So I'm going to hang out here and go look for a ruler real quick. And I realized it'd be so difficult to find an evil ruler. I'm just saying. Take an evil ruler or a not so evil ruler. I'm okay. Not picky. All right. I can use this cutting board. Which I've got a cutting board here. I am an artist. Oh, right now I am working on a 3D print of an object at this moment. But yes, I am an artist. How are you doing, Yap? Are you an artist as well? Go. Put this right here. I feel like this needs to be like that. There we go. Probably the easiest way to deal with this would be just take this picture with my phone. Right? What it is it is the medals or awards from Star Trek. And I am working at the moment on trying to struggle with this. Struggle with this. Wasn't my intention to struggle with this. I'm just saying. Trying to get it so that I can resize this because they are the wrong size. So the original artwork that I have made is the wrong size for the actual devices that came off of the 3D printer. So I made the artwork for the ribbons, but the actual ribbons themselves are the wrong size. It's kind of hard to see because the light's super bright, but they're the wrong size. So what I'm doing now is setting it up so that I can go on ahead and do a resize on it. You've never watched Star Trek? That's fine. Certainly nothing wrong with that at all. You are aware of it. That's fine too. It's actually fine if you weren't aware of it. No judgment there. So the next thing I'm going to do is spin up good old Photoshop. I hate how much I use Photoshop. I'm just saying. The amount of time and effort that I put into Photoshop. I swear. Really shouldn't, but you know. What can you do? Not much you can. Some point in time, you kind of just get stuck having to do what you have to do. So we'll spin up Photoshop. And I will open, and I'll transfer over here in just a second so you can actually see what I'm working on. Well, once I figure out how I'm going to do it, of course. And there is that. So, let's see here. And it says ribbons correctly sized. Are they? Are they? But are they? Yeah, that's kind of where I am, as Photoshop's my second home as well. But kind of wish that wasn't the case. Just saying. You know? All right, switching over to my drawing monitor. Here's the actual objects that I'm working on right now. We're gonna see if we can also find the aforementioned photograph that I just took. I don't know how long it's gonna take for my phone to transfer it. We'll have to see how long that takes. Sometimes it's instant, sometimes it takes 2 hours. Oh, there we go. It's relatively instant. All right. And we've got that. There we go. So here's the photograph that we just took. Right, so looking at where things are based on our, and we can already see that we're a significant size larger than we need to be here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take these guys right here and let's take it and copy. I'm going to put it in here and take a look at where things ended up. It is actually blue. My hair is actually blue. Although I can make the lighting do funny things, in this instance, it actually is just blue. So, and my hair actually went gray in my late 20s. So I have been gray for more years than I have not been gray. And so I take advantage of the fact that my hair is just white. You know what I mean? Might as well. It's pre-bleached. Doesn't require any effort. Which is kind of nice. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. We make it about the same size. All right, we're almost there. There we go. Not bad at all. So now we're going to take a look and see what it should have done, right? I take this guy here, and we're just going to go over here to the line tool. I'll take my line tool. Now that we've sized it correctly, I've made a new not 100% sure it's the line tool playing the game or not. Anyway, I go like this. I feel like the line tool is doing that funny thing that we don't want line tool to do, but it does because they decided they wanted it to be more X, Y, or Z. Yeah, you kind of have to line it up exactly. Not as much as I really want to, need to, because it actually doesn't need to be resized too terribly much. But so here's the main on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a duplicate of it. and call it smaller. And I'll say size template 1. And then we'll move this guy over. We'll move. Oh, come on. Work with me here. Right. That doesn't surprise me. There we go. I'll put that on top. And now we've got a good idea of about what we need to resize these guys as. So I'm going to bring this down and turn this guy off. We'll just keep resizing it until we're roughly at the right spot. There we go. I'm kind of getting there. Right. I'm not that worried about lining it up precisely so much as getting close. A little bit of bleed's not going to hurt because that'll actually be good, because when I'm done with this, what I'm going to do is print it and then glue those guys to the back and then cut the paper off of it and clear coat the whole thing, which should cut the, put everything in there. Hey, Snooter, how you doing? I'm gonna print this, send it off to the printer, and hopefully this won't take much time. I can tell because I've gotten down to like 4 frames a second that we are now interfacing with my printer downstairs, which I still don't know why my printer has to take up so many cycles of pretty much everything. But it does. I have no idea why. So Yep. Snooter, Yap can actually read what you're saying. And to be fair, Yap is actually referring to what I'm doing. So I'm not actually lining it up exactly using AutoCAD. I'm just using Photoshop and eyeballing it and hoping for the best, Oh, that's far. Yep. Snooter's watching from Twitch. Highly recommend, by the way, if you do go over to Twitch to try to find this channel, which you can find over there, make sure you find the at GS Davis Art site, because this is broadcasting on 2 channels over there. One of them is Kayan, and the other one is me. And Kayan isn't here as much these days. Doesn't mean he won't be back, but right now he's sort of intermittent, depending on whether he's working the next day or not. So if you want to make sure you're following the channel, because I don't broadcast out on Kayan's channel. Nice. Just making sure. Don't want to lose you guys, All right. I will be right back. I got to go downstairs to the first floor and get my print. Someday my prints will come. Yay, my friends will come. Yay, my friends will come. Can is my partner, whom usually broadcasts with me, but sometimes he doesn't, depending. And we all belong to a art collective here in Colorado, and we all hung out together a lot and stuff. So since COVID started, things kind of got a little weird about us hanging out. We weren't sure whether we could or not. And so we started an online version of this where we were all online together. And now we're here. But yeah. But Can, oh, look at that. Look at that. It's like I meant to do it. There. Look at that. They're exactly the right size. And hard to see because the camera doesn't want to do it, but there you go. So now all I got to do is glue these to the back of these in the right place, and then I can cut it up. And we are good. Yeah, the art collective, that's what Quack is. Quack is the Quasar Art Collective. And so this is the collective of artists that get together on this stream. And sometimes we've got more than just the two of us, but some of the other artists haven't shown up. And I don't know, I think the last time Raph was here was probably nigh on to a year ago. So it's probably been a good year since Raph's been here. And I think he was the last one. Pepper was here about a year ago, too. So, yeah, slightly delayed. It is. So it's all good. But yeah, that's what that is. The Quasar Art Collective is what you're seeing up here when we talk about Quack. And that's why you guys are in the duck pond. So, in theory, the whole mess should line just fine, right? So if you look here on this, these guys should line just fine. Perfectly. Look at that. Like we meant to do it. And I think, so here's the thing. This weekend is a convention here called IACON. IACON is, nope. You don't get to, no, past. Okay. See, that's what you get. So, my cat George has decided to visit. IACON is a convention here. It's a Comic-Con, and it's the duck pond makes so much more sense now. Yes, so that's what this is all about. So we're a broadcasting collective of artists that only right now has one artist broadcasting on it. And the funny part is that I'm not even an artist full-time anymore. I am now a part-time artist because I am going back to school. And so I'm going back to school to learn to be a cultural anthropologist, somebody who studies cultures and stuff like that, which if you guys have been on my stream, you probably know that I have a fascination with cultures and different locations in the world and people and things like that. So being an anthropologist makes some sense to my career path, which I'm doing for a lot of reasons. One, it's sort of, I think it's time for me to kind of move on a little bit. Sadly, AI has pretty much put an end to what I was doing as an artist as far as what I could make money off of. No, there's many of us. Quack encompasses the group used to be called Red Team Go a long time ago. And it was a local group. It wasn't an online group. It was only here in Denver. And we would get together sometimes twice a week at a local Denny's, where we would take over the back room. And they were like, so if you ever watch the opening credits of Quack, of this show, you'll see pictures of the group, the rest of the group. They're all in there. And it's photographs from all of our, when we were tabling, or when we were at conventions or working conventions, and things like that. And so I mean, some of us still table. I mean, I still table from time to time too. And it's just that this last year has been particularly rough for a lot of us. There have been some kind of not so positive things that have gone on, and things that weren't awesome, and so it's been kind of a rough year for a lot of people in the Quack. So that's the deal. But yeah, if you watch the opening credit, which I can actually play the opening credit. Well, yeah, I don't want to play the opening credits, but you get the idea. There's the opening credits, and during the opening credits, I don't know if I can start the opening credits in the middle. I think it only plays from the beginning, and there's a 5-minute leader on it now, so that people have time to know that we're broadcasting. Somebody said that we should put a 5-minute leader on it. So it's a 5.5 minute requirement for us to watch the opening credits again. But yeah, I would say there's probably 5 or 6 core members that are routinely here at the groups, that routinely see each other at every convention. And then there's another probably 10 or 15 who are extended, including one who recently moved to England, so to the UK. And so she's now out in the UK. We've got a couple of them that live now in California. We sort of had and then we've got one. Every so often we'll get Jackson on here. Jackson's right now living in Tennessee, and so hoping Jackson's okay post that horrible hurricane that went through and sank everything. But yeah, I mean, so if you're curious, here's all of our various stories, and you can read some of them online. Kayan's Armageddon Divinity is out on, the first 3 comics that you see up there on the top are our comics on globalcomics.com. So if you go to globalcomics.com/C/Bellatrix-Rising, you'll read my comic. And if you go out there /C/Armageddon-Divinity, you'll read Kayan's comic. And if you go out there and read /Godsbane, you'll read Jackson's comic. Raph never put Pia up on Global Comics, and Pepper has a store, but neither one of them actually do the online comics. So there you go. That's us out there. So you can find us out on the and those are free comics, so you can just download that. So there you go. There you go. There you go. I recently had to download a SEMTI color bars for a project I was doing, so I added them to here so that I can go because for reasons I am ridiculously easily entertained. Also, in my early life, I was in television. So I was a television engineer when I was a young 20 something. I was a television engineer. And so I get a kick out of bars and tone. That cracks me up every time. Sort of a throwback to my days of television back in the early days. So I could tell you stories, guys. I could tell you stories. You want to talk about a fun culture? Television is a fun culture. So that's a thing. I'll move me back to here because I think I'm done with this. This worked just fine. So these guys are going to be good. And they match these guys just fine. So what I'm going to do is the next step is I got to use one of my light panels over there. I'm going to have to flip this over and then glue the plastic things to the back of these and then trim them, which is not going to be hard at all. Then these little guys, once they've been glued onto, they just snap right into these things right here. They just click right in like that. And so it doesn't, once I've put them in, I'll just glue them in like that. And then we can just do a clear coat over the whole thing. And that'll make this perfect. Then it's got 3 magnets that need to go on the back with a star pattern on another piece, which is this guy right here. This piece right here, which then goes on the back. Then that can go inside. And then this guy goes on the outside. And they'll just stick together. Whoop, drop the thingy. They'll just stick together. And this part will come off. Yeah, I'm dropping everything. This part just comes right off like that. And then... Yeah, all of this is 3D printed. So these are all 3D printed, including the one that I just dropped on the floor. I dropped it on the floor. I know, it's because I dropped it on the floor. You know, if you were a real helpful cat, you'd get that. I'm just saying. My cat, George, is definitely a critter. Yeah, I don't know if he gave me... Oh, yeah, he gave me far more than enough, which is good. So he printed it on his printer. Actually, I think it's FDM. But yeah, he printed on his. So the thing about Star Trek, the thing about Star Trek is that the fandom, the fan group of Star Trek is very tech savvy and voracious. So I didn't actually have to model this or build it. Somebody else had already built it once the episode had been aired on TV. As soon as the episode was over, I'm sure he had already designed it and posted it. So it's, it wasn't that hard. Ooh, I got you. So I downloaded it. Now, that said, I use 3D for my comics all the time. And everything that you see when you read my comics, I designed and built and created in Blender. So I do that work. I'll just load that up here and show you while I'm at it. Might as well. Got everything else running. Yep. Let's see, what do we got? Cannot read. Why? Because I have moved it. I'm just saying I moved it. And so I go out here and go to oh, that's right. We can't do this the easy way, can we? Nothing's the easy way anymore. I moved everything around and now I'm kind of like, oh, what did I do with my stuff? Let's see here. problem I've got is the Blender is pretty explicit about things. Like it's very like you can't go into your OneDrive. You have to go through like all these loops to find your OneDrive. Like, I don't want to go through my loops to find my OneDrive. Grumble, 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 right? This is interesting. It looks like my OneDrive from a while back. I'm not sure what that means. Has my OneDrive moved? Oh, it has, hasn't it? It's out here. I'm like, what? What? How did my OneDrive move? It didn't move. I just have it in a different location. There we go. Do. Sorry, this is taking so long, guys. I'm trying to find all of my stuff. I've moved stuff around. And so that I could find all of these things easier, but that made it harder for me to remember where I put stuff because I was pretty good at where everything was originally. And then I moved everything. I'm having a little bit of a problem all of a sudden. Like, where is stuff? Hang on real quick. Oh, I see what I did. I'm like, what did I do? How did I do this? I'm like, I just renamed everything so I can't find anything anymore. That's what's happened. There we go. There we go. So this is one of the ships that I've been working on recently. And I recently decided I needed to redo a lot of it. But I'm working on some of it here. There's another one that I'm working on. Oh, hey, it actually mapped stuff. That's good of it. But I'm working on this one too. This one's got the cockpit pieces are more aligned and pieces like that. And the leg pieces are correct in this point in time. And the landing gear pieces are not quite finished, but at least they're there. No, this is a ship from my comic book. This is one of my ships. I can close the cockpit. Probably. That's certainly what some people want me to do. There we go. There we go. With the cockpit doors closed, it's a lot easier to kind of see what's going on. The legs fold up too. I've got them down right now because I'm working on them, but the legs do fold as well. It's got a walk mode where it can walk or stand on its own. Well, thank you. That actually is a wonderful thing to say. Thank you very much. I can. Let's see here. Why is it I don't have? What mode are we in? Like, there's the layout mode. That's a little easier to see sort of the design on it. It's kind of hard right now because I'm still mapping it. But you can see the hard points under the wings. The flaps I've been working on to make them actually work so the flight surfaces will actually do their jobs. Really issues. So that's the way that goes. The cockpit itself is not complete. So there's no seats in here right now because there's a cockpit designed for characters. So it's got a set, but the cockpit's open like this. So you can kind of see there. And that's the way that kind of goes. Why is it that I don't have the ability to... Okay, we'll open. Don't save. I didn't do anything. But... if we want to look at the... Yes, I do. I just use the... This one's a little harder because I'm doing work on her, but this is my hero's spaceship. So this is the actual hero ship. There we go. A little harder to see. So that fighter that you just saw is very small, and this is a larger ship. This is what we call a Corvette class. So even though she's got wings and she can still fly, she's still a Corvette. I'll put her in. Can I put her in layout view? Well, thank you. Animation full view. There we go. That's what she looks like. So, we got. Yeah, we can't. In this, we need her in modeling view. There we go. No, we don't need her in modeling view. What mode do I want her in? All the little fur right there. All that fur you're seeing on it, those are what we call normals. I don't know if you're a 3D modeler or not, but I was having a problem because the normals keep getting flipped. So a normal on a 3D model is which direction a triangle goes. And I was having a real problem with it because these normals kept going the wrong way. They kept going inside the model. And so I was trying very hard, and you can actually see some of the pieces in here which are upside down. I don't need it to be upside down. And I had to teach myself to be a 3D modeler. So, yeah. So that's the Kittiwake, the US, or she's the FS Kittiwake. And that's FS is the designation for a Corvette. So when you look at Navy ships, they all have a 2-letter designation to them. Like, for example, DD is for destroyer, and BB is for battleship, and CA is for a heavy cruiser, and CL is for a light cruiser. And people often ask me what that means, and that's a thing. CA is actually, so CL is cruiser, comma, light. I'd need to put supports and things like that. It also would have to come apart in different pieces so that it could be printed, because otherwise it can't be printed with all the gear up and everything like that. All the gear would be inside it. And this model is designed for the actual comic book. It's not really designed um, for the for printing. Some of the pieces go through other pieces, so we'd have to fix stuff so that it wouldn't do that. But I'll show you what she looks like in situ. I don't know, in real life, when she's finally printed out and everything like that. Or when she's prepped for the actual the comic, she looks like this. That's what she looks like in the comic. So, and the reason that I do this in 3D is because then I can just easily render out scenes like this. And it's not that hard. But all of the little widgets and numbers and symbols and all of the things end up on there. Well, to render her, I use a program called Daz 3D, which is not what Daz 3D was designed for. Oh, 5 minutes remain. We're almost done with our show for the day. It's not what the program was designed for, but it's what I use it for. And so she lives in that program, and I can pose her any way I want because I've set it up with all of the flaps and everything to be understood inside the program. So all I need to do is click a button and all the landing gear comes down, or throw a little wheel and all the flaps go up and down and everything like that. It makes it so much easier to deal with because I can do anything I need with the model, just render it real quick, and once I do, it's out in the real world. So that's how this works on this particular one here. But yeah, that's how the ship looks when she's rendered. Right now I'm fixing everything, so because it wasn't working properly, it wasn't going as easy as it should. Hey, Bulldog. But it's not the only object. I've got this guy here. This is another one that has flexible operation. So this is the MPV, which is their shuttlecraft, if you will. The shuttlecraft has 4 wheels for driving around, but also has legs folded up underneath there so that it can walk if it needs to. So I don't have a picture of the MPV up, do I? Up on its wheels. I do have. Well, I have a picture of the MPV prepping to depart, and then detaching from the kittiwake, because the MPV sits in the back. And so, see you later, Yap. I've got to go too. I'm doing well, Bulldog. How you doing? I'll see you later, Yap. Have a good evening. And so we were just talking about 3D modeling in comics, using 3D models for comics. And this is the ship that we were just talking about right here. This is her 3D model of it with fur. Not intentional fur. We're just working on normals. And struggling with normals is what we're doing. We're really struggling with normals. So, 'tis the way it is. It is what it is. Unfortunately, Bulldog, I'm about to end my stream. I got about 3 minutes left. So if you got any questions about comics and how to use 3D models in comics, I'm all ears. I'm willing to give you as much as I can. But I gotta, unfortunately, although I usually go over, but not tonight because I've got a test. I actually have a test that I've got to do. It's a Japanese test, and I have to go do that here in a minute. So it's gonna be a thing, but that's all right. We'll get there. So there you go. That's the FS Kitty-Wake. Actually, I think she actually is the USS Kitty-Wake. FS 510, the FS standing for Corvette. Which I'm not actually, I know why CA is heavy cruiser, but I'm not sure why FS is Corvette. It's kind of a weird one. So there you go. Who knew? Certainly not me. All right. Well, folks, I think we're at time. And I'm going to have to roll it on out. It was good to have you with me today, Yap. I appreciated having you here. And good to see you, Bulldog. I'm hoping you have a good evening as well. Snooter, of course, always good to see you, my friend. Hope that you have a good evening, one and all. I'll be back on tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Mountain Time if you need me, and we'll see what happens. And all is well. But until then, I hope you all have a good evening. And remember to keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.